If one note stays the same and the other part moves, that is called oblique motion. Yes? Oblique motion is good. Contrary motion. When the parts move in opposite direction. So here, my upper part is moving up, and my bottom part is moving down. Contrary motion can go either way. My upper part is moving down, my lower part is moving up. Contrary motion. As long as they're going different directions, it is contrary motion. Contrary motion is wonderful. Next, similar motion. Similar motion, they are both going the same direction. Both parts here are going down, and of course, the opposite would be true as well if both parts are moving up. This is similar motion, yes. Both parts move in the same direction. Static motion, they don't move in terms of where they are on the staff. Oblique motion, one part moves, one part remains the same. Contrary motion, both parts move, but they go in opposite direction. Can get bigger or smaller, doesn't matter. Similar motion, both parts move in the same direction. Similar motion is good. All of these are good. But with similar motion, we have a subcategory. That's where we have to start being careful. Your subcategory is parallel. Parallel is like similar motion in that they're going the same direction. Parallel because it is the same interval on both sides. So over here, this is a third going to a fifth. That's similar motion. Here, this is a third going to a third. That's parallel motion. It does not matter if it's going from a major third to a minor third, a third to a third, a fourth to a fourth, a fifth to a fifth. Those are parallel motions. If the interval number is the same on both sides. Parallel, thirds, and other parallels are okay. However, you cannot have parallel fifths or parallel octaves in AP theory. That is one of the most fundamental rules of AP theory. No parallel fifths and no parallel octaves. Can I erase this so we got it? Yeah? So what does that look like when we're actually dealing with music? Motion means how do we get from this chord to this chord? Right? That's motion. Up until now, theory has been about that chord. That's theory one. AP theory, music theory really begins with how do we get from chord 1 to chord 2? How does that work? Right? So we are not allowed to have parallel fifths. Now remember, all of this motion is between two parts. All the examples I showed you were two-part examples. Soprano, alto, they were treble clef. But if I put them in bass clef, it would have been tenor, bass. But they happen between two parts. How many parts do we have here? 4. So we have 4 possible violations here we have to always check. We have to check every part with every other part. If you only check the bass to the tenor, that might be good, but you could have problems between the tenor and the alto, or the tenor and the soprano, or the bass and the soprano, or the bass and the alto. There's many different permutations, which is why this gets to be tedious at the beginning, because it's very slow, because you have so much to check. So remember, I'm checking for intervals between two different parts. So how do we do this? We start with the bottom and we work our way up. We always start with the lowest one and check that note with every one above it. Then we go to the tenor and check it with every one above that. Then we go to the alto and check it with every one above that until we're done. Now, we're dealing with 4 parts, so we would be done here, right? Bass goes with the alto, tenor, alto, soprano. Then we check the tenor with the alto, soprano. Then we check the alto with the soprano, and then we're done. So how do we check? We're looking for intervals on both sides, right? So we're going to start with the bass to the tenor. What's the interval between the bass and the tenor? It's a fifth, right? C to G. If I've got a fifth on one side, I've got to be careful, because I can't have a fifth on the other side, right? What's the interval here? Fifth. This is a parallel fifth. And you mark a parallel fifth by putting lines between the offending parts. So I have offending part between the bass and the tenor, parallel fifths. And then usually there's something like, find a parallel fifth, and you would write number 1 or something like that, just so I would know what it is. I'll show you that in a little bit. However, we're not done yet. There happens to be parallels right now, but we need to check everything. There could be multiple mistakes. So now we're going to check between the bass and the alto. What's the interval between the bass and the alto? Third, C to E, right? We know that once we get above 7, it goes back to 1. 8 and 1 are the same thing. So this isn't a 11 or a 10, it's a third. C to E is a third. What's on this side? D to F. Third. So what do we have? Parallel thirds. Are those okay? Yes, parallel thirds are fine. And in fact, you'll find them all over the place. They sound very good in music. They do parallel thirds and parallel sixths quite frequently. Right? So that's not a problem. Now we check the bass and the soprano. What is the interval between the bass and the soprano? Octave. What is it on this side? I have another problem. I have parallel octaves between the bass and the soprano. So I have parallel fifths between the bass and the tenor, and parallel octaves between the bass and the soprano. Am I done checking? No. What do I do now? Tenor and everything above it. Tenor to alto. G to E. What's that interval? G to E. That's a 6. What's on this side? A to F. 6. Parallel 6, okay? We're good. G to C. What's that? 4. A to D. What's that? Parallel fourths, okay? Yes. E to C. 6. F to D. 6. Parallel 6, okay? Yes. So there is only parallel intervals in this, right? We don't have any other kind of motion here. We have only parallel motion, but some of it is fine and some of it is not. Right? We have 2 problems, parallel fifths and parallel octaves.
Can I ask what's wrong with them, or?
They, to the ear of a Baroquean person, They are very obvious and very strong, and the Baroquean ear is drawn to them to the point where it actually diminishes the quality of music happening around it. You do not have a Baroquean ear. If I played you Parallel Fifths right now, you would be like, I don't understand. It's anachronistic. If you had played in rock band, power chords are only parallel fifths. Right? There are bands that have made millions of dollars playing nothing but parallel fifths. All over music is parallel fifths. Debussy in the 1800s writes music that is filled with parallel fifths. It is gorgeous. We are not studying heavy metal bands from the 80s. We are not studying impressionistic music from France in the late 1800s. We're studying Bach.
Just according to office.
Not according to the people who studied Bach. Right? Why is Bach's music so much better than everyone else? Bach doesn't have parallel fifths or octaves. We don't do them. It's a core tenet of the structure of tonal harmony as is created by Western civilization in Europe at the time, around 1700.
Oh God.
Again, Bach is not doing this. It is the people who study Bach.
I know, but like people just study him, and now we're taking a class and we just follow the rules that were influenced by him, which is great.
When you have geniuses, their stuff lasts. Right? Geniuses stuff lasts, and I don't care what art form you're involved in. People respect the geniuses, and their stuff stands the test of time. Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, I can list over the classical composers. We can do it in any genre of any artistic endeavor. The geniuses last. What made them geniuses? And people struggle to figure that out. The geniuses themselves rarely know. They're just doing what they do. But if we want to why is Bach brilliant? We need to understand what he did. Like if you go to major art museums, you'll find art students painting the most famous art paintings. Not because they're studying the masters. How did he actually get this to work? They're doing that. They're not to do it just to copy it, right? It's a process, and so that's what they're doing. So the theorists are like, why is Bach's music so much better than everyone else's? Let's study and figure out what he did, and now we have the tonal harmony rules that we still follow today. And it does go deeper than that. The reason these things do exist the way they do is because of the way sound and physics and acoustics work. But that's a whole other class.
What class? Physics.
Did you have something to
I
say?
said what class?
Huh?
I just asked what class.
What class would that be?
Yeah.
Physics and acoustics.
Oh, we learned that later on.
That's later in the year.
Okay.
Right? But if you've ever seen Donald Duck in Mathematic Land, they start telling you how some of this works. Pythagoras doesn't just discover his theorem, he also discovers the overtone series.
Oh, he said that too.
Right?
He did.
You ever seen Donald Duck in the
Fuck you, man.
Donald Duck in the Golden Age?
Donald Duck in Mathematic Land.
She told me that I was wrong for just that ramen was just kind of ramen. She said no, ramen was spicy. No, I was really hard and really no. So she was like, no, it was really spicy. And I was like, no, go on through.
Okay? In this progression, there is a violation. See if you can figure out where it is. If you get it, give it a chance for those who are working a little slower.
He said,
It's just showing your shirt. You can move farther down. It's just showing your red badge or red pin. You're not gonna allow Emilio the chance to try.
Where does he set up?
That's just as bad.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been seeing the back of your head, your fat head.
Yeah, that's all.
Tired.
Constantly, that's nice.
the other one. Direct octaves is with the soprano and bass.
Yeah, but that's.
See, Mr. Jason, I got that one. I got
Do we
that.
have it?
Yeah.
No? Give it a little more time?
Oh.
Hey,
Go figure out the thing.
Your
notes, man.
please.
Go out and go figure it out.
Please, stop.
Anyone have it?
I don't have it.
Who thinks they do?
Give him 1 more minute. I vote.
Urban thinks he has
I
it.
agree.
What?
It's a parallel octave.
Between what two parts?
The bass and where
Okay.
the soprano part.
Okay? How far is it from A to C?
A sixth.
Try again.
Where
A to C
that's a third.
is a third.
Yeah.
How far is it from D to D?
That's octave.
That's an octave. So I have here a third on one side, an octave on another side. Are those parallel? No. What kind of motion do I have?
Similar.
Similar. They're both moving up. There is an octave on one side, but remember, motion is about how we get from chord to chord. So on this side, between the bass and the soprano, you have a third. On this side, between bass and soprano, you have an octave. So that's similar motion. They're both going up, but the interval is not the same on both sides. Therefore, it's not parallel. Make sense? Does everyone understand that? No? Okay, so it has to be the same interval on both sides. So what I'm sure he did is he found an octave here. He said, oh, it must be octaves. But it isn't, because on this side it's not octaves. Remember, it's always about how you get from chord 1 to chord 2. So in chord 1, the bass note is, the soprano note is, how far is it from A to C? A third. So that can't be an octave. So it's a third here, even though it's an octave here.
Am I spraying out from the bass and soprano?
What?
Spraying out the bass and soprano?
What about the bass and soprano?
I'm bringing it out first.
I don't understand the first half of what you're saying. You sound like Andrew when he rolls his R's.
How do you roll yours?
I don't even do that.
What about it? You're always checking between
I don't
two
even know
voice
what to do.
parts. Remember, we started by checking the bass with the
I didn't.
tenor. Then we check the bass with the alto. And then we check the bass with the soprano. Then we check the tenor with the alto. Then we check the tenor with the soprano. Then we check the alto with the soprano. Then we're done. Yeah? Right? So you've got to be on both sides. And it has to be in the same voice parts. Right? Sometimes this can get people confused. What's the interval between the bass and the tenor? Octave. What's the interval between the bass and the soprano? Octave. But those aren't parallel octaves. Why?
Because it's different parts.
They're not in the same voice part. If you just simply find octaves and fifths, they're gonna be like in every chord. Right? Because octaves, triads are root thirds and fifths.
So people had a problem with hearing them, like, I'm confused, okay,
You don't care about why.
okay.
Don't care about why. It is the way it is. If I told you to paint a picture without using the color blue, you don't need to care about why, you just take blue off the palette. And then you'll do just fine, and you'll get an A.
You can't. do
Even if
that.
you love blue, nobody cares, the assignment is don't use blue,
Damn.
right? The assignment is no fifths, no octaves, don't try to worry yourself about why, because it's going to mess with your head.
Sounds good.
Yes, just facts, right? So it has to be in the same voice parts. Yes,
So essentially, motion is about getting from one chord to the next by comparing the correlating voice parts.
yes.
Wait, I should write that down.
Woo! Wanna teach the class?
I will.
So there's no issue between the bass and the soprano in this example?
There is no issue between the bass and the soprano, because it's similar motion. And I started with, similar motion is okay, unless it's parallel motion, which is okay, unless it's fifths or octaves.
So there's no marking?
Again, so it seems like, wait a minute, 95% of the stuff is good. Yes, 95% of the stuff is good. 5% of the stuff gives you a 0. So you just can't do that. Are you raising your hand or are you just like frustrated?
Both. So
That's
what,
one thing.
wait, your original question was how to mark it? Is that what you said? What was your original question when you wrote it on the board?
Where's the offending parts?
I have those.
Then,
Offending, where's the problem?
okay, so, I don't know what that was.
There's two areas.
I can tell.
Okay, well, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Me
It's
too.
really productive.
Yeah, parallel fifth between other error and.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah?
Is it parallel fifths between the bass
I didn't know you were
and
saying
the alto?
Yes. How far is it from the bass to the alto here? A to E? Fifth. How far is it from here? D to A? Fifth. This is your parallel fifths, right there. Right?
What's a fifth one?
What?
But does it need to write it, or is it just draw a line?
Ask it.
You don't make mistakes.
So how?
When you
why
make
is the
mistakes,
marking like
I draw the lines.
He said you have to write it.
Again, you, that's fine. There's no have to. We'll get to the point is, the point is you will be doing the motion. I'm seeing if you make it.
But I guess the identity
I'm
killing
chords is the same.
Sorry, yeah, Chris, you had your hand up.
So, like, when there's like a,
Why, guys?
like, do you have to like mark, like, how would you mark it if it was like an octave?
Right now, we're simply putting lines between the offending parts.
Okay, but there's a marking for that, yeah.
It's lines between the offending parts. So right now, you're not worried about which the mistake is. We'll do that in a second. It's not a big deal. I just want you to realize that if you see lines, it's because you've got problems.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that an equal chord?
What?
Is that
Yeah,
a
so
equal chord?
so the line is gonna show
No.
this.
Why do you laugh?
Now, there is another problem here.
No.
No, I'm not good.
There is another problem here that we have gone over.
Okay, perfect.
Not from today, but something from recent. Monday, I think.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
So, I'm actually thinking
Not ranges. Everything's fine with ranges on there.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Maybe the voice crossing?
Is there a voice crossing?
Do you see any voices crossing?
I don't.
So that would be a bad guess. What? Where? Between what parts?
It can't be more than an octave.
Between what parts?
Between soprano and alto or alto and
Well,
tenor.
yes, but here, don't just read things at me. Like, apply your knowledge. Where is the spacing error?
Everything's pretty close, to be honest.
Wait, the two
top notes, like.
Oh.
Well, you said alto
The
soprano.
one at the base
Soprano
are the same,
and alto
or
are
the ones
less
that
than
are different.
Yeah, do this.
The one at the bottom.
Chord is the first chord.
Right? More than an octave,
Damn.
or an octave or more,
Okay, so
with your spacing error.
it means less than an octave.
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with it?
More than an octave.
This is, sorry, an octave or more is a spacing error.
Oh.
So this is too big. So this is the spacing error I pointed out on Monday that people miss, because it's between the staff. Between the staff.
You had said more than an octave though, not an
Spacing
octave.
errors,
Yeah, yesterday you said more than an octave.
oh, well, think of it this way then.
Oh.
Spacing errors count as motion errors. Because this is not allowed, this has to be a mistake. Okay? So motion errors include spacing errors, even though spacing errors are only in one chord, because you have to get to this chord, and you have to get from that chord, and you can't because of the spacing error. So we include the spacing error, either too big or voice crossing, because you can't properly go to a chord that has an error. So it still counts as a motion error, even though it doesn't have motion.
So it's not more than an octave?
Huh?
No, it is, that's A.
Less, it cannot be, an octave or more is not good.
An octave or mid?
Yeah.
Mr.
Is there?
It was AD.
Not because I can't.
No, that's just my mistake.
I don't know what's
I
up.
was trying to make stuff and I just lost track. If I didn't have it there, then I didn't have it there.
I can't read my notes, I don't know
Is
what
it
it
a
should
dial?
be.
Yeah, so two notes. There was D
Don't
and
read my, like.
Yeah, see, Chris. Chris.
Okay, once we get the sense of
Chris.
You have my trouble card?
Kill yourself.
Draw?
It's alright.
It was an incomplete.
I think so.
It was DAD, it was missing the third. DFX.
No, keep in your drawer.
Or.
It's the same.
No, it's not.
It's just weird if I had done this in B low grade. Much easier to B flat major.
I think B low grade was nice. You know Mr. Chase, the scales the modes memorization thing that me, Miriam, and Holden had, the 7 locusts to your farm, that's like,
Yeah, I've heard this.
that really helped.
No one did.
Yes, during the
You're just a
exam,
dumbass.
no, during the exam, I heard people behind me, 7 locusts to your farm. And it,
If they move towards each other, that's still contrary motion, right?
Correct, if they both go opposite directions. So if they go this way, it's contrary motion, and if they go that way, it's contrary motion. Doesn't matter which way they go, as long as they're going opposite directions. Good to know.
you started.
So I don't.
Okay.
So, are we critiquing the original chord as well?
You are judging the motion from this chord to that chord.
But what
As
if,
soon as you're looking at one chord, what are we doing here? We're checking spelling, making sure we spelled it right, make sure it's in the right inversion, but all of that is theory 1, make sure that the chord is right. AP theory, am I getting from this chord to that chord correctly? So you cannot consider, if you look at only one chord and I say, are there parallel fifths or octaves, you would be like, that's nonsense.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. But I could say, hey, you misspelled the chord, now you've got a problem because you misspelled it.
I thought
But that is just here. It doesn't involve
Theory
2.
1,
This
the entire year.
motion involves 2 chords.
so the spacing problem, you said we can't have an octave or more, right?
Right.
But the original chord is an octave.
That's not AP.
I'm confused, isn't it? Correct me.
You just skipped it.
Yeah.
So you're laughing. I swear you didn't know.
Where? There's no octave here.
This is made in the-
There's no.
That's a 6.
No,
That's a 5th. That's a 6.
what the
You know,
hell?
Ethan,
D to D. Double D's.
Settle down. Consecutive parts.
They also do things like contrary motion, so.
Okay, I'm settled.
connect parts that are next to each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or else it'd be impossible, everything would be like.
Evan, what's the
squished
error?
together.
okay, okay. Yes?
Yes?
Sorry.
You do nothing if there's parallel thirds.
Correct, parallel thirds are completely fine, you're good to go.
Wait, does that mean they get the worksheet tomorrow?
What?
Does that mean they get the worksheet tomorrow?
No.
Oh. Oh, I just want Chris to suffer, that's it.
Trust me, I do too. That's really what we want.
He's just playing his Pokemon,
No.
not even listening.
No.
I can't wait for him to suffer on the worksheet.
Anyone yet?
No.
No, I was just too focused on the first one.
Huh?
You're the only ones that give people a chance.
Is there something wrong with it?
Fucking swear.
Stop smiling at me, it's not gonna get you that far.
I don't want
Just smiling at people, and eventually realize, wait a minute, I know, but you don't fool me.
Space between two people. Oh, and you can't compare the spacing issues, you can't do the
Can you
spacing
show
issues
me?
between, oh, never mind.
Can't have spacing there between base and 10,
How come?
Oh, wait a minute.
because that's a rule,
Is there?
right? It's a little bit of
I thought
it's
that's
a little
what
bit
the
like, if you're playing basketball, why can't you do that? Because it's illegal. Why? Because it is, like, you know.
Okay.
Why can't you punch somebody in the face? Because it's illegal. You know, it would be a much more entertaining game if instead of playing defense, they just punched each other in the
Like
face.
hockey.
that whole.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like
But hockey, it was allowed to be punch each
Chris.
other in the face, it's encouraged.
You know that if you,
Do you have something?
I have a question.
Yep,
What makes like all the errors like actually errors? Like what's actually wrong about it?
you can't have it.
Like what does it mean? Like mean?
If I said, don't guess the answer 6, and you said 6, you would get the answer wrong.
when you're checking this.
It doesn't matter why,
It's
just accept it, the answer's not 6. Yep.
Tenor is the third one.
Mhm. Take physics and acoustics.
That's tenor. It's just, yeah. Soprano and alto.
How we doing? Anyone?
But not tenor.
Nathan,
So, any spacing issues between that?
I got more stuff I gotta do before the bell.
Nathan's raising his hand. He's just ignoring us.
Mark, you raise your hand up first.
Is there nothing wrong?
There's no problems. That is just as likely and ideally your outcome. So if the only thing you ever do is find problems, that's gonna be a problem. You have to identify when a problem is there, right? This is a 6 going to a 5th. This is oblique motion. Tenor stays the same, bass goes up. Bass to alto, third to third, parallel thirds. Those are okay. Bass to soprano. D to D is an octave, better be careful. Up, contrary motion. Bass goes up, soprano goes down. We're good. We can fix there. This is oblique motion again. This is oblique motion again. The tenor doesn't move, it's obviously oblique motion. And then these are contrary motion as it goes in. That is a perfectly fine motion, and in fact, there are no problems.
If you're trying to do this quickly, can you just recognize that tenor is not moving?
Yep.
So everything's.
Everything with a tenor would be oblique. You are right. So, now here's the thing. This is so egregious an error that you're not allowed to do anything that might possibly be conceived to be anything close to a parallel 5th or a parallel octave. What is the problem? And I'm giving you a hint by saying what is the problem, not can you find a problem.
You're so kind.
I really appreciate that.
And then it's just no problem again.
You're not even in this class.
You know that if you get something about if
No, you're
if
doing
you
test.
tattooed on your
It's a
arm, you
soprano.
can use it for the test. For the exam.
It's a motion error we're dealing with right now, none of the stuff from the other day.
Shay said that himself.
Motion error.
Oh, no, so- Oh.
No, it's Friday.
Shit, we missed Daisy. Oh God, we're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Well, I know.
No, it took us.
What would happen if we missed it?
I don't know.
That was the
I don't have
performance,
an
just the
answer.
silence.
I don't have an answer, I'm just asking a question. Yes? I think I'm getting myself a little bit distracted because I'm like trying to check if the in-between is right, but that's not what I'm doing, right?
Remember, I always start from the bottom and work your way to the top,
Okay,
right? So bass with all the notes above it,
right.
tenor with all the notes above it, alto with all the notes
So
above it.
I'm only checking spacing errors.
That's all we're doing right now. All we're checking is motion errors. You're looking for parallels. Do we have it yet?
No.
I made it really obvious,
I can see it.
Really obvious.
because the goal is to do the next thing.
Oh, there's a whole thing.
You don't know the next thing. We're gonna do this one, so you do that one.
If there's no errors within it, I run it.
So basically.
Oh.
Are you ready for ACDA, Mr. Chase?
I feel pretty good after today. Today's verse was really good.
Yeah. I think we did better. I think the bassist did, like after you mentioned it, we did a better job on Bach.
You didn't even go here.
Limit does not exist.
I guess not.
Yeah, that's it.
Do we have it yet? Do you have it? Alto to soprano, A to C is the third,
Yeah.
alto is going down, soprano is going up, that is contrary motion, that is good, that is not the problem. Yes?
Yes. Sopranos and altos.
Alto and tenor,
Evan.
A to
This
A,
is where it gets
that's an octave,
tedious, 'cause the whole
A-
is so tedious.
sorry, E to A, why do I say A to A? E to A is a
Unless
fourth,
you rewrite the
A
entire
to F sharp is a sixth, that's similar motion, that's fine.
job.
So the only one we're ever worried
What?
about is similar
Like,
motion,
15 years ago.
Parallel
you
motion.
spoke about with me.
But remember, similar,
which is a
parallel motion.
subcategory
Right.
of similar.
Parallel is smaller than similar, and you can't have fives and eights in parallels.
While listening to modern jazz.
It might make it better if I didn't make a mistake.
We're joshing.
I was like, why is this taking so long?
Wait, what did he do? I didn't see.
He changed that.
I thought of it.
Wait, Evan, what did he do? What did he do?
Made a mistake.
He didn't.
All right. Yes, here's the fifth. Sorry about that.
Bro.
A to E is the fifth. Yes.
Yes.
D to A is the fifth. Yes.
Yeah.
That is parallel fifths, right? Now,
You hide
I mean, both those things can be true.
We're both idiots. I know.
How far is it from A to E? How far is A to E? Fifth. How far is it from D to A? Fifth. This
Oh.
is fifths by contrary motion.
Are those okay?
Those are not okay. Basically, you can't be like, I've got parallel fifths. That sucks. I don't want to fail the test. I know, haha, I've outsmarted the system. I'm just going to put the bass note down here, and boss going to go, yeah, no, that doesn't work. You're still cheap. So that's called fifths by contrary motion.
Real? It's alright.
So no parallel fifths
Oh,
under
yes.
any circumstances.
You can't have fifths or octaves by contrary motion.
Oh.
Because you can't, right? You can't have parallel fifths. You can't have parallel octaves. You can't have fifths by contrary motion. You can't have octaves by contrary motion. What might that look like?
That would imply that they have extensive range, you know? Right? If you, for
What's the interval between the base and the tenor?
It's
Not 0.
1.
1. What's the interval between the base and the tenor? 8 is the same as 1. This is octaves by contrary motion.
Whoa, whoa, man.
Hey, that's wrong.
Octaves by contrary motion.
So that's separate from fifth contrary motion.
It's the same, just the way parallel fifths and parallel octaves are the same. Can't have fifths by contrary motion, can't have octaves by contrary motion. Right? So they're different, but they're the same, because it's the same rule. We're just applying it to the interval of the fifth, and then we're applying it to the interval of the octave, and the 1, because 1 and 8s are the same. Right? 1 and 8s are the same. Yes?
Good.
Chris. Just the most recent one. It's 2 seconds long.
No.
But no, not paying attention. I got you.
Show Evan too. We're gonna do this to you.
Stop.
Good.
Sorry.
Where's that one?
This is not allowed.
Yes.
Right.
There's something wrong with it, which means it's a different rule.
It's 5.
It's 5, but there's something wrong with it. And that key signature matters. What is the interval? What kind?
I never understood.
Major.
Oh.
What note is this? E. What note is this? I mean A. A. What note is this? E flat. How far is it from A to E flat?
So then
What note is this?
E flat.
And that? How far is that?
it's pretty far.
That's easy. Perfect fifth. Unequal fifths.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
So we just don't like fifths now?
Correct. But here's the thing.
What did they do?
Theorists like to be specific. They don't want you saying, hey, I'm getting away with something, because this is a diminished fifth. Therefore, it's okay. No, it's not. Unequal fifths are also not allowed. So, this is the mistake that people make, not because they don't see the fifths, but because they don't pay attention to the key signature, and they tell me it's a parallel fifth, and I mark them wrong, because it's not a parallel fifth. It's unequal because A to E flat is a diminished fifth. This is 99 times out of 100 a key signature mistake. Because you're not paying attention to this and you're simply looking at the intervals here. If I did this like this, everyone would catch it. It's really obvious because I'm using an accidental for it. So when it's using an accidental, which is almost never, it's very easy to catch. But when you lose it because
We all do it at the same time. What?
this is a a what? Not a four.
Unequal fifth.
No.
Perfect fit.
That is a perfect fit. What is that?
Perfect fit.
What is that? What is that? in every key, there is one naturally occurring diminished fifth. So you just look at this and go, oh, this is just perfect fifths, just going, no problem, I got it. And you're like, oh shit, key signature, I'm gonna get it wrong because every single key has one diminished fifth in it. And if you're not paying attention, you're gonna label it a parallel fifth, and I'm gonna mark it wrong, and you're gonna be mad because you're right, and I know you're right, because you got the basic idea, and I'm still gonna mark it wrong, because on the theory test, you have to know the difference between a diminished fifth and a perfect fifth. You have to know the difference between parallel fifths and unequal fifths. Yes?
Yes.
So, you can't have contrary motion fifths, or octaves, going from small to big or big to small, because that's just like a parallel fifth. You can't have a unequal fifth, because it's just like a parallel fifth, it's just spelled wrong. And then we'll finish tomorrow.
Oh, thank God.
Who's your favorite class?
What's my favorite class?
This is your favorite class.
This is my favorite class.
Yeah, so only that I'm seeing.
If it's a third, that's when they decide.
You're not in Carol, but you still understand it.
August,
what is this? Halfway through it.
Evan, can I move your phone?
Well, yeah, just pause it.